1 Thessalonians 5 verse 22 in the KJV says, "Abstain from all appearance of evil." We should avoid actions, behaviors, or situations that could be perceived as sinful or morally questionable, even if they aren't inherently wrong. The appearance of evil refers to things that might seem sinful to others or could lead to misunderstanding, temptation, or a damaged testimony. Here are some examples of what might be considered the appearance of evil. A married person spending time alone with someone of the opposite. Jesus' teaching in Matthew 5 verse 28 about lust in the heart underscores the need to avoid situations that could lead to or resemble sin. Proverbs 4 verse 23, "Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life." Guarding against situations that could lead to temptation protects one's reputation and faith. A Christian attending a party known for drinking, drug use, or immoral behavior, even if they don't participate. Being in such an environment might suggest to others that the person endorses or participates in the sinful activities. It could also weaken their witness as a follower of Christ. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 31 encourages believers to do all things for God's glory. Romans 14 verse 16, "So do not let what you regard as good be spoken of as evil." Christians should avoid actions that could be misinterpreted by others. A church leader collecting donations without clear accountability or transparency. This could give the impression of dishonesty, greed, or misappropriation of funds, even if the leader's intentions are pure. 2 Corinthians 8 verses 20 to 21 emphasizes taking precautions to avoid any misunderstanding in handling finances. We take this course so that no one should blame us about this generous gift that is being administered by us, for we aim at what is honorable not only in the Lord's sight but also in the sight of man. 1 Timothy 6:10's warning about the dangers of loving money. Spending time with friends who openly engage in sinful behavior, like gossip, slander, or idolatry, without setting clear boundaries. Others might assume we condone or participate in those behaviors, which could harm our testimony. 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14 warns against being unequally yoked with unbelievers, emphasizing the need to maintain distinct values while still showing love. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33 Do not be deceived, bad company ruins good morals. Dressing in a provocative manner or using coarse language that doesn't align with biblical modesty or speech. Such behavior might suggest a lack of respect for biblical standards of purity or holiness. 1 Timothy 2 verses 9 to 10 encourages modesty and good works as a reflection of godliness, while Ephesians 4 verse 29 calls for speech that builds others up. Christians are called to be a light to the world, Matthew 5 verse 16, and their appearance and behavior should reflect Christ's character. Joining in cultural practices or celebrations that have roots in idolatry or occultism, such as certain rituals or festivals. Even if the Christian's intent is innocent, it might seem to others like they are endorsing or engaging in idolatry. 1 Corinthians 10 verses 20 to 22 warns against participating in activities associated with idolatry, as it could confuse or mislead others. 1 Corinthians 8 verse 9 But take care that this right of yours does not somehow become a stumbling block to the weak. We should avoid actions that might lead others to sin or misinterpret their faith. Sharing negative information about someone in the church, claiming it's for prayer purposes, when it's unnecessary or harmful. This can resemble gossip, which the Bible condemns, Proverbs 16 verse 28, Ephesians 4 verse 31. It risks damaging relationships and the church's unity, giving an impression of divisiveness rather than love. James 4 verse 11 Do not speak evil against one another, brothers. Speech should be edifying and truthful to avoid the appearance of malice. The principle behind 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 22 is about living with wisdom and discernment to protect one's testimony and avoid causing others to stumble. Romans 14 verses 13 to 19 emphasizes not placing a stumbling block in front of others and pursuing peace and mutual edification. Christians are called to consider how our actions are perceived by others, both believers and non-believers, to maintain a strong witness for Christ. The key is to act with love, wisdom, and sensitivity to how actions might be perceived. If a behavior risks being seen as sinful, leading others to sin, or damaging one's testimony, it's wise to avoid it. As Philippians 2 verses 3-4 encourages, Christians should consider others' interests and act humbly to reflect Christ's character.